Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming, and hey, a new Diablo 4 event. Welcome then to the March of the Goblins, a one-week event in which you'll find packs of loot goblins around the world. In the open world or in dungeons, it's just going to mean big bursts of loot injected into your normal gameplay if you're willing to hunt them down. Further, they drop eye level 925 gear and could be a great source for things like greater affixes, which could then be sold to other players for the incredible prices. On top of that, there are things like extra greed shrines spawning at much greater rates, which are all the more important when gold is such a drain in Season 4, even after the changes they've made to reduce that multiple times. Plus, we also have free cosmetic rewards just for opening the game compared to a normal event, where you'd need to progress a reputation bar or do specific content or something like that. It's kind of a reward for the anniversary of the game. That's what this is all about. Diablo 4 has been out now for a full year already. While the event doesn't have a lot of actual content to specifically do, I see this more as an injection of gold and loot drops for a good week, even in your normal gameplay. If you're like me and have started to try other builds beyond the main meta ones, probably desperate for gold or say more greater affixed items to work with, so I do think it's come at the right time. Further, there's going to be a second phase to the event called Mother's Blessing, in which they're going to increase the gold rewards even more. You'll earn 25% times more XP in general, and then gain 50% times more gold for another 10 days after the March of the Goblins event, which, yeah, is certainly welcome. Maybe that sounds alright on paper, but the reality of this event is it's underwhelming. Let's talk about the details and what you really need to know. Firstly, the event begins today, June 6th to June 12th, which is basically a week. But the rewards that you get from it, the cosmetics, that'll actually last until June 20th, so you've got 2 weeks to get what you need. When you log in, you'll find we have a new buff. A recent change in items appears to have attracted more treasure goblins to the area. They must really like the changes because it seems they may be picking up and dropping even more than usual. As long as you've got that buff above your bars, you know the event's still going, at least for the March of Goblins part. If you pull up the shop, you're going to find something new. Just below the recommended for you tab is this section, the anniversary gifts. And as you can see, I've already claimed my gift. From June 6th to June 13th, return here daily at 12 PM PDT for a new gift. Claim them as yours until the 20th when they're promptly destroyed by Hell's minions. So what actually happens here is as you open the game, you'll see there's a new kind of anniversary update to it in the character select. You'll be able to go into the shop and find this new tab and just claim your thing. In this case, it's our first mount skin, and they've got us with a kind of rolling roster of items. The idea here is that an item will be given to you at each new daily reset, and you'll have until June 20th to actually claim all of them. What I'm scared about, we don't really know right now, is does this expect you to log in daily to claim a reward, or is it just going to unlock as the event actually progresses? So let's say you missed all 7 days or something. As long as you log in during the 2-week event, you could claim all of them at once. We don't know how it's really going to work, so hopefully it's just all unlocked. And as long as you log in after some point during the 2-week event, you can just grab all of them. That would make sense. It's funny because this has been quite bugged as well. I had to open and close the game multiple times before this actually updated, and you may need to do that too. It wasn't until I closed the game and completely reset Battle.net that this actually updated, where I finally found it in the character select screen, not in-game where it wasn't working. So to say the least, the event's a little bit buggy, but at least there's like free rewards and there's nothing you need to do, no reputation system you need to progress. It's pretty easy, assuming it actually works. On the other end, we have things in-game, the Goblin packs, the Goblin bags, and the new greed shrines that actually spawn new Goblin packs. Here's how it works, and I'm gonna tell you now, it's bugged, confirmed to be bugged, at least in one way. Here's what happens. Goblins are spawning in the world, and at a higher rate. When you kill them, they drop these bags. These item bags have 2 types right now. There's the 855 ones, and there's the 925 ones. The 855 ones are essentially useless because, I mean, what happens when you get a weapon like I did here? That, hey, it's got a greater affix on it, this could be a valuable thing. It's not. Not only is it not 925, it's also not even 855 as it's said that it should be. So even though there's a greater affix on this item, even though the affixes are actually good, this is a useless item because it's not 925. There's such a DPS loss to equip a lower eye level weapon that I can't use this and no one else really will. So no one's going to buy it from me either. This is a confirmed bug. As said by the community manager on Twitter, apparently them giving lower eye level is actually not intended. But what's scary about this is I think it could still mean the 855 bags are intended. It's just the part where they're giving lower eye level than what it says. That's the part that's bugged. Again, 855 items are completely useless. When you kill a goblin, you might get a bag that's actually 925, and then within that bag is unfortunately rares and maybe some legendaries. Because if you're getting bags of full legendaries, there's a good chance you'll get a greater affix, at least one in every time you open one, making farming these goblins really valuable. The reality is just not that. You might get an 855 item bag, you might get a 925 item bag. And in those, you're gonna get rares on top of maybe legendaries, on top of maybe greater affixes. Now, finding one goblin at a time is really not that worth it with that in mind. You can find them in Helltides, but that's where we're seeing most of the 855 item bags. When I was just in the normal open world, I bumped into a goblin, killed it, and got a 925 item bag. The best place I found though is in dungeons, because that's where you're going to more commonly see shrines, and the greed shrines are spawning much more commonly there. Even just a normal dungeon like this, it's not even a nightmare dungeon, let alone a pit. I found a greed shrine, no problem, and as soon as I activated it, not only am I getting way more gold, but goblins are spawning. They're coming out of their own unique goblin gold portals, and you just need to pay attention to your minimap because they kind of zoom out and sprint off. When you kill these, each one will drop an item bag, and for me, all of these have been 925, although I may have just been lucky. So whether it's working as intended, or bugged, or what, I think the best way to do this event is to do whisper-based dungeons. The red ones that give you 5 grim favors, there's also going to be greed shrines in there. There might be goblins walking around, and if you find a greed shrine, you'll spawn a bunch in. This way, you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. By doing these whisper dungeons, you're progressing your whispers. Whispers are still giving 3 million a pop, which was, previously the best way to get gold. Now the dungeons you're clearing are also giving a bunch of items, legendaries, 925 items at that, and you've got the greed shrines themselves, which is giving you a little injection of gold on top of everything else. So to me, with the greed shrines being so much more common because of that, I just think doing whisper dungeons is maybe the best way to farm these goblins right now. Is that really worth doing compared to, I don't know, farming Helltide, getting all the legendary drops from those, opening chests? That's a different story, and a big part of why this event it's a little bit underwhelming right now. Hopefully they see people being disappointed and really juice the numbers. Get rid of the 855 bags completely and just leave us with 925 goblin bags that are spawning way more. It's also weird. I've seen absolutely 0 packs of goblins at any point, which we saw in the trailer and even screenshots. So either they're not spawning or people just aren't finding them. The whole thing's a bit of a mess in my opinion. And after 1 week of this, the March of the Goblins part will end, and then we're going to get Mother's Blessing, which basically just means more XP and even more gold, but without all the goblins spawning, which is kind of lame. To further confirm that, we've had another update. We're going to have an update on the goblins in some way. Maybe we'll actually see packs of them in the game. Maybe we'll just have 925 goblins, which is what we thought we were getting. They're also going to start Mother's Blessings instead, not a week from now, but we'll start immediately at 1 PM PTD, lasting for the whole way, until June 20th. So the whole bonus XP and better gold, that will come in pretty quick. So that's a welcome change. And again, maybe they'll actually make it so there's more goblins, packs of goblins even. We will see. But I hope this video gives you everything you needed to know as this rather messy event progresses. Until next time then, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.